morning, afternoon, evening, or night, everyone. This is Vincent, and you're watching for my video in this channel. And as you can see, you are on the screen that you'll see right here. I hope that it works well. I'm going to write my name so you can see that this is me writing it. So that is my name, and today we're going to learn some math stuff from. I'm going to use the IGCSE book. So because that's the only math textbook that I think is suitable for me. And just to be clear, this is kind of like a grade 9, grade 10. So this is only can be learned for 9 or 10. But if you are very smart, so it can be for anyone. So let's learn about the idea. So let's learn one of the topics of the textbook in IGCSE. So let's start with the first chapter, numbers and language. I'm going to use this feature right here. It's a very cool trick. You'll try to like write it, and then you can like understand it. Technology, people, technology. This is the very first chapter. First chapter. So we all know what numbers are, from 0 to 1 to 2 to you know like all about the digits from 0 to 9. So you must have known about natural numbers. Natural numbers are basically the numbers from 0 to, I guess, infinity, I guess. So examples of it is, of course, 0, 25, 75, 36, 49, and pretty much any number that you can think of until infinity, which is basically where numbers are broken off. So that basically it wrecks the system. So yeah, so basically from 0 to infinity, I guess. And then we reach to the point called integers. Integers are basically positive and negative numbers. So there's 25, or in this case positive 25 if we want to make it look complex, and negative 5. So you must have seen something like this. Well, you can read it as 25 minus 5, or 25 negative 5, which becomes to, of course, 20. This is pretty much from the negative infinity to infinity. And then what's interesting is that the number 0, wait, I'll just try to get it right, to make the 0. The 0 here is kind of like a portal. The portal from negative to positive. Interesting, right? So 0 is essentially a portal if you want to convert the negative to positive. And it doesn't really change anything. In there. The next one is rational versus irrational numbers. The rational numbers and irrational numbers are, of course, opposite. But what does it mean exactly? At the very least, rational, right here, means... Wait. At the very least, rational means that it can turn into a fraction or a decimal. So 1/2 can equal to 0.5. 1/4 can equal to 0.25. Those are irrational numbers. But what is an irrational number? Well, again, it's a number that can't be a fraction. That can be a fraction. So it can only be a decimal. Some famous examples of this is square root 2, which is a number that from a long time ago somebody discovered, and legend says that he's been banished by the gods. If you try to put calculator in square root 2, you'll get an exact number, but you'll never get the exact you never get to the fraction of it. So it'll just go on forever. For people who are wondering why square root 2 is 1.41421356 and so on. Another famous number is pi, 3.1415925. That's also a rational number. So really, a rational number is a number that can turn into that you can turn decimal into a fraction and vice versa. An irrational number is a number where it can only remain as a decimal and it will always continuously repeat, but cannot become a fraction. There's some unique numbers. There's also some other numbers that can appear in the textbook. There's prime, which is basically whose only factors are 1 by itself. So 2, 3, 5. So the only factors to 2 is of course 1 and 2. 2 times 1 equals 2. There's also reciprocal. That might sound like that sounds like a complex name, but it's really not. Basically, you divide the number with 1. So for example, the reciprocal of 5 is 1 over 5. The reciprocal of 2 is half, and so on. If the reciprocal is 2 out of 5, you just flip the number, which becomes 5 out of 2, or 2.5. There's also some other numbers right here. Square, which is what everybody knows, it's basically which is basically 1 to the power of 2, which is around this number right here. Cube is basically 1 to the power of 3. I don't think there's any number that can go to 4, 5, or 6. Possibly because it's a number that is way too big and it's just really kind of inconvenient. And those are all of the numbers that I can reach for now. So let's summarize it. So the first number is of course natural, which can be start off as 0 to infinity. Well, not to 8. And let me just fix that. Yeah. So basically, natural numbers are numbers which are, of course, 0 to infinity. So basically, integers are negative infinity to infinity. So negative numbers and positive numbers. Then we have rational versus irrational. Again, rational is something that you turn a decimal, like say 0.5, which then thought of as 1 over 2, 0.5. While irrational numbers are numbers which can't turn into a fraction and will always repeat. So basically pi or square root 2. And also square root 3 and other numbers, I guess. Prime numbers are simple. They can only be times with the factors only 1 and by itself. For like 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, and so on. Reciprocal are when it's divided by the number itself. So 1 divided by the number. So 2 will become 1 over 2, or which is 0.5. Finally, we have square numbers, which are basically the power of 2, and finally cube, which is to the power of 3. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you understand it. That is like the most simplified way I can do so. I will try my best to make another video. Till then.